Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I paint a nice quiet scene. A couple of trees by the lake, forest in the background. Grab your paints, your brushes, your paper. Let's get started. Now we're going to get our paper prepped for the painting. First thing we do is put a little water on. Actually, put a lot of water on. Want it to soak in a little. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of blue down for the sky and a little bit of purple lake just to darken it up a tad. Add some color, a little contrast, make it look a little purpley, a little darker. I'm going to mix the two colors together, the blue and the purple lake, and try and show a little bit of clouds in the sky. Now I'm going to get a little bit of my blue, my cobalt blue, and just add a little darkness to it and put the water in. A few strokes to make the water. I'm going to add a few darker strokes to show some waves, some activity in the water, so it doesn't look too sterile. There you go. A couple of darker strokes makes it look like there's waves happening in the water. Now I'm going to dry the paint for a moment. I'm just going to put my my middle ground on. I'm just going to make it the far side of the water. Going to make it dry, make a little forest area. I like to do my paintings in the wilderness or of the wilderness. And now I'm just putting in some green gold as my base for my tree line up here, and just lay it down nice and simple, adding a little bit of my cobalt blue to the bottom part to make it look a little more green. And I'm going to clean off the brush a tad, add a little bit of orange for the treetops, make it look like a fall scene, and then I'm going to put a little bit of my red. Actually, I use a Venetian red for that. And I'm going to make the red and the orange. And I'm going to add a little bit more of green, which is basically my hooker's green, and a little bit of sepia. And just mix it up in there just for the contrast. And I don't like to make it all one color. And here I'm going to just put some individual trees in there, some pine trees that you can see across the lake. And again, this is just the background and just trying to make it look like a real lake scene, forest scene. And so I put the trees in the background just so that you could see them. And I bunch up a few here and a few there. I don't have any particular way of doing it. Just I don't want to make it look like a picket fence where it's all straight lines. So put them in helter-skelter here and there. They go everywhere. Don't worry about it. There is no right or wrong. Just do whatever you feel like doing. You don't have to match it up to what I'm doing. Just paint your own way, try to develop your own style. Now here I'm putting in a little bit of yellow just to contrast it. I thought I had a little too dark, and so I put the yellow in to just to lighten it up and show more of a green as opposed to the fall, the darker fall colors, the orange, the brown. Now I'm going to dry that up a tad so that I can paint my trees over it without mixing in. So just give me a minute. It takes a minute to dry. You don't have to use the dryer if you don't want to, or if you don't have one. You can just let it dry for 5 minutes or so, and it should be good to paint. Now I'm going to mix up a batch of dark color here, which is going to be my blue, ultramarine blue and my sepia, and I'm going to add a little bit of Payne's gray. And I'm just going to paint two big trees over here, which is going to be the mainstay of the painting. And once I've put the tree in, I'm going to just lighten it up. I'm going to pull some water through it to make it lighter gray. And then later I'll put some bark marks on there and make it look like bark. So I put my paint down, I clean out my brush, take the water out of it, and I just wipe it down to lighten it up to make it more of a gray. And here I'm just getting a smaller brush and I'm putting in the marks that make it look like bark. And I just go from side to side, lines down, put a few X's in. Again, it's hard to do anything wrong. Just do something with it, put some marks in. You'll do it a couple of times. You'll see whether you like it. You'll determine how you like it. You'll try to do your own thing. But just put some marks in there. Again, what I've done here now, I think I put a few too many marks in, but we'll see how it looks in a few minutes. Everything looks a little different when you let it dry up. Looks a little bit lighter, so we'll go along with it. Let's see how it looks in a few minutes. And now I'm going to put a couple of branches in, and this will be the mainstay of the tree here. I'm going to put branches that are going to go all the way across just to make it look different. It's not going to be an ordinary tree. So add more branches. I'm using a much smaller brush with a much finer point so that I can make those nice thin branches and the marks on the bark there. Again, I don't know if it shows up on the screen, but I can see the marks here. I hope it shows up on the screen. I'm not sure that it does. But anyway, we'll continue on with the branches. We're going to drag the branches across the whole of the painting and actually down right even across the lake water. Make those branches nice and long, all over the place. Most of my paintings have trees in them. I like to do the forests or the wilderness. They're very calm and calming and sedating, and it's just nice and relaxing for me to paint it. When I paint something like this, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. It's just so nice to paint. I hope you, when you paint it, that you get the same feeling. And now we're going to mix up a little bit more brown and blue. Of course, the blue is the ultramarine blue, and the brown that I'm going to use is going to be some burnt sienna and also my my sepia. I'm going to make a nice dark gray here for the rocks. So I'm going to add a lot more paint, a lot of paint and water. Here I'm just putting in a little bit of dark green. That's going to be the grass. And I'm going to put some marks in here to denote the grass. And I'm going to scrape out the top part of the rock here. And there's some more rock that I'm scraping out. I don't know if it shows up on your screen, but on here it looks like a nice gray rock that I've got there. Looks real nice, actually. Now the trees that I painted are a little too dark. I couldn't get to see the marks of the bark, And so I'm just going to cover it with white, which is going to gray it down. And then afterwards, when it dries a little, I'm going to put some more bark marks on so that you can notice it a little better. Again, I'm trying to gray it down so that the trees are going to show the marks of the tree bark. And here we're just going to put a few marks in. I use the side of the brush, and I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's broken lines. It really comes out a little better now than it was before. It's much more noticeable. Again, watercolor painting is easy. You can go over things, you can cover things up sometimes. You can make changes to it. If you don't like it, try to fix it. If you can't fix it, start another painting. It's the practice is good for you. The more you paint, the better you become. And the more you paint and the more mistakes you make, the more things you learn. We learn from our mistakes. Again, what I'm doing here is I'm just putting in the reflections of the forest across the lake here, and I just take the brush, small brush, use the dry side, I use the side of the brush to make the reflections. And here I'm just adding a little bit of yellow to the trees over there and to the grass over here, just to, I want to lighten it up. It looked a little too dark for me. And I'm using my palette knife to scrape out the marks in the grass. So now we've got the reflections from across the lake. I'm going to put in a few darker marks in the water to show the waves. And I think what I'm going to have to do is just add a little bit of the I'm using my burnt orange for this rock here, and then I'm going to use a little bit of my burnt sienna for another rock, and I'm just going to put a little bit of white. There's my burnt sienna, so I'm going to put that on another rock. And this is just to give a little variation in color to the rocks. I don't want them to look all the same. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white to just to show the top of the rock. A little bit of white over here. And then I'm going to dry this off. Blend it all in together. Now again, you don't have to use the dryer. You can let it dry on its own. But because we're making a video, I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. And I think I've got it dry enough for the moment. So I think we're good to go. Painting is basically finished. I think what I'll do now is find a little mat, stick it around the painting, and let's see what it looks like. And there you have it. I want to thank you for watching. I've really enjoyed this. I enjoy having you watch. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Looking forward to seeing you for the next video real soon. Thanks again. Bye for now.